So welcome to the stress and emotions class. We're going to begin by just sharing a few simple ways, facts about essential oils. Then we're going to go into a bit of a deep dive how we can use essential oils and how it communicates with our brain and our neurotransmitters, how we can create calm in our everyday life, and how we can regulate our nervous system, particularly if we're in a very stressful situation long term. We're using some breathwork techniques as well. If you do have any doTERRA essential oils, feel free to have them to hand towards the breathwork session. If you don't, we can make sure that by the end of this call, you will have something, um, sample, or if you wanted to get an oil in your home, that will be we'll be able to help you with that. So, without further ado, I'll just share the presentation. And feel free to pop in the chat any questions that you have about safety or any sort of thing that you're happy to share about, or otherwise you can wait till the end if you like, and we'll answer your questions. Okay, so first of all, just going to go briefly into what essential oils are. There's about 10% of the world's plants contain essential oils, and they can be extracted from things like the root, the seed, the flower, the bark, um, and they're the gifts of the earth, basically. They contain highly potent chemical compounds inside the oil, like I said, they come from different parts of the plant. So wherever it's extracted from, our body can utilize the benefits of this. When we think of the man there that's extracting the resin from the boswellia tree, and he's extracting the frankincense there, um, they've known the benefits of frankincense for thousands of years. We're tapping into it because we know how wonderful it is, and we want to share that tonight. Just how great it is, and how our body and our mind can really benefit from the inhalation as well as topical use of essential oils, especially when we're talking about emotions. So we may have talked before about the three ways we can use essential oils. With regards to stress and emotions, we're going to be talking mainly about the aromatic use. So that is the inhalation, because it has a direct link to our limbic system in our brain. And that's going to be really powerful. So we can use it if we're feeling anxious or stressed, we need to calm down, or we're feeling quite gloomy and we need to uplift ourselves. We're going to show you what oils you can use for when. Also, if your children are feeling like quite anxious, unsettled, a bit shy, maybe there's oils that they can use before they enter into a new class at school, or if they're doing something that they're scared about. Just a little bit about purity. When we're using pure essential oils, we don't need to worry about um, sort of the side effects. There's a lot of warnings on the internet about scary things, essential oils, but we know that these are not synthetic products that can weigh us down. Each essential oil has a unique chemical makeup, and when it's extracted properly, these natural chemicals can be used to enhance our daily life. But not all essential oils on the market, as we know, are created with purity in mind. Unfortunately, they're not regulated, so the market is filled with fragrant oils, which have synthetic fillers in them, extenders, and it's profit driven. So, when you're choosing essential oils, make sure that they're regulated, make sure that they passed a lot of screening to make sure there's nothing added to it. So they're allowed to put 100% pure on the side of on the bottle, and you think, oh, I'm getting a good oil, but actually, it can contain 100% pure, but it's not the whole bottle, and they could get away with that sort of advertising. There's no standard of testing there, so just be really careful. We want to use oil we can, because we're using it for our health and well-being, and we deserve the best that earth can give us. So doTERRA has been consistently known as the purest oil company, one of three, meaning that 95% of the world's market sell adulterated oils. So just make sure we're getting it from a reputable source. Even doTERRA, you think, right, that's a good oil, I'll search for doTERRA. Then some people go on Wish and um, is it Amazon and other places, eBay maybe, and they'll buy doTERRA oils, they'll come back and they'll realize they've just spent money, and somebody's bought some new caps and diluted it and sold it on profit. So always get it through doTERRA, through us. We're licensed distributors. So anyone that's invited you here, we're all licensed to get it from the source. Okay, just a little bit about adulteration, because there are some good essential oil companies on the market, but Emily Wright, who's the founder of doTERRA, she pulled out of the aromatherapy market because in 2001 she found that when she went to an essential oil broker in France, she went to their lab, she wanted the most good lavender, and they just said what they could produce whatever lavender she wanted, whatever profile she wanted. And when she told them she wanted lavender that came from the plants, you know, I think there was a little bit of a conflict there of they assumed that, it was just to do with um you can be determined in the lab basically whatever profile you want, because you can add synthetic molecules to extend the oil, or you can even add natural components from a less expensive plant, and you can fill it up with that. So um we can see just how fanatical doTERRA are when this was non acceptable for them. They wanted it straight from that plant, dripped into that bottle, literally with nothing added. Um, if adulterated essential oils are ineffective, and they can be even dangerous, and it's rampant today. So um, I think the quote at the end, it terrifies me to think that a good intentioned mother might be putting an adulterated lavender on her child, not knowing the harm it could cause. She wants every mother to feel safe using pure, tested essential oils to benefit her children. So I think we get the picture of doTERRA's ethos towards purity. Okay, so a little bit of science. So we all have neurotransmitters, that we have our happy hormones. We have hormones that during labor, when we give birth, we create the oxytocin and things like that for breastfeeding. They all do a different job. Serotonin, we know that's for self-esteem. Melatonin, the sleep-wake hormone. We've got many more of these, but just thought we'd put these on. We know dopamine, getting our dopamine fix, that's our reward chemical. And we know when endorphins are created in the body, when we're so happy, our pain goes away, which is amazing, isn't it? And these are the ways that our body and our brain communicate, and the messengers. It affects everything that goes on inside our body. What's wonderful to know is that we can actually increase these neurotransmitters in our body. So say we're lacking, maybe we need more serotonin, we need to feel more happier, and we can actually use essential oils, and we're going to show you how they work to increase these neurotransmitters. So how does it work? Well, our sense of smell, which is vital for our health because it helps us to ward us from danger or things that are off. It's linked to our memory and emotions, and scent memories trigger vivid recollections tied to specific scents. For example, if you smell lavender, does it bring you back to your grandma? Or when you smell an orange, does it take you back to a holiday as a child? We've all got an associated memory with a certain scent. And when they've done MRI scans, it shows that the amygdala and the hippocampus are activated when we smell. So it connects emotions and memories. The limbic system rapidly links sense to memories, and it invokes a response, as we said. So smells trigger stronger emotions than that of sight or sound. So the only sense of our body that's linked to our limbic system via the olfactory bulb there. So amazingly, the way we're made here. And they're only just sort of uncovering just how much of an impact our olfactory receptors can have on the various organs in our body. They can really help regulate our heart function, cell regeneration, and even appetite control. So when we inhale an essential oil, not only can it evoke memories, but it also can have influence on our physiological health as well. Okay, so just a little bit of research that's been done on essential oils. Citrus oils like lemon, orange, and tangerine, they are strongly uplifting, when we inhale a citrus fragrance, a natural one, we can help normalize our endocrine hormone levels and immune function. And for people that were diagnosed with depression, it was deemed more effective than antidepressants. This is regularly smelling citrus oils. If you don't know about rosemary, how good it is for memory, um, it's um, it's known that teenage boys and girls experience significantly improved short-term memory after inhaling rosemary essential oil. So anyone who's got exams or needs to concentrate, get rosemary infused or diffused in the room. And then we've got lavender, just to mention that it's associated with balancing and calming our body and mind. And it mentioned that healthy individuals who inhaled lavender reported feeling fresher and more relaxed than individuals who just inhaled a carrier oil. So that was some studies that were done on lavender there. So we mentioned some of those neurotransmitters at the beginning, and then these are the associated, the elements in these various oils can actually increase these various neurotransmitters. So if we want to create more serotonin, we want to reach for lemon, lavender, wild orange, or bergamot. And when you look, a lot of them, if you look at lavender, it covers pretty much the four there. Lemon and bergamot are very popular as well. So if we had 3 or 4 oils, we've got a good arsenal at our hands, so we can breathe that in regularly and swap and change according to how we want to feel. So it's really useful to think, maybe just one of the simplest ways is just to, if you've got a few of the oils, just to smell them and see which one you're drawn to the most, because our brain is communicating all the time with our limbic system and knowing how we want to feel. So often you may be drawn to citrus if you're feeling a bit gloomy, or you may be drawn to more of a floral oil if you're quite hurt or upset, because floral oils are generally soothing for hurt emotions. And this gives you an idea of how we can manage our emotions using this wheel. So we've got all the essential oils are grouped into 6 different sort of categories. We've got minty oil, citrus, spices, herbs, trees, and floral. So if somebody's grieving, it's great to reach for tree oils or tree and floral oils because they're really comforting. They can really ground you and really help. If somebody's feeling very gloomy and apathetic, then you would go for a citrus spicy one like the Cheer blends or mix your own. And if you're just wanting to sort of, if you're feeling a bit insecure and a bit anxious, peppermint is brilliant. In fact, peppermint and wild orange are the winners for a lot of things. But at least you know then if you've sort of, we can send this after as well if you want to keep it. But if if you're thinking, I need to feel more, I need to be more uplifted, I need to be more energized, or whatever it is, if you need to feel grounded, you just need to settle down, or your kids need to settle down, you'd reach for more of a woody oil, like the balanced grounding blends, or things like that. So floral, think relaxing, citrus, cheerful, and minty to energize and uplift. So there's something for every mood, really. And how would we go about using this? We'd simply apply 1 or 2 drops to the palms of our hands, rub together, cup it over our nose and close our eyes and inhale. We will repeat this towards the next slide, next couple of slides, but this is what we do throughout the day if we're feeling particularly one of these moods and we want to really change how we're feeling. Okay, so this is just a little bit about breath work. Won't talk about it all, but basically having awareness of our breathing, because when we think about our breath, it's the one function that's involuntary and voluntary. We're always breathing because we're alive, but we don't always know we're breathing, and we don't always control our breathing. So it can happen in the background. Have you ever got really stressed and you realize that your breath's really shallow and fast? And that's just because our nervous system's taken over, and it's one of those functions. So to maybe tune into our breath, and we can actually manipulate it and change it, and then that will help us to give more balance to our emotional state, and it can also calm and regulate our nervous system. It's a really powerful tool doing breath work with essential oils, and it's something that most of us don't do to its full capacity, just becoming aware of the practice of breathing regularly. So when we do this, our posture improves and we start to slow our breath down. Um, we can sort of inhale, and then when we exhale, what we want to do is inhale that beautiful aroma and then exhale anything that's going on for us stress wise. Just exhale blow out our problems literally, and we can start to detoxify our body and our mind as well. So when we do this and we start to correct our breathing, and we just say, do it maybe 3 times a day, just try it. Try doing some breathing techniques. We'll show you on the next slide how you can do that. But it can really help to calm and rebalance our nervous system. We want to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the resting one. We don't want to be in this fight or flight state all the time. So we can really use this as a tool to really help bring back our natural rhythm, and harmonize the rhythms in our body. Because often when we're stressed and we're really anxious and we've got shallow breath, what's that doing? Our oxygen's not getting to all the organs in our body. So we're not really restoring all our sort of body systems. Um, when we do breathe properly and regularly, we can enhance our brain function, and we can really start to boost our moods as well as helping with our heart rate, blood pressure, as we said, our digestive function, and circadian rhythm with our sleep as well. So really a useful tool to use. And all we want to do is think about our breath. So if you've got an essential oil that you want to grab now, then we can just pop some on our hands. I'm just going to put the balance one on and just put a couple of drops on your hand. Inhale and just cup it over your hands and mouth. But before we do that, you can either do this sitting or standing. But if you're sitting down, that's great. And then what we want to do is just apply the essential oil over the mouth and take a deep breath in for 4 seconds. Then hold your breath for 2 seconds and then release, and try and just release for about 6 seconds, but there's no set, just try and release slowly. As you release, try and release the worries of the day with each breath out that you do. So you inhale for 4, hold very, very slowly, and then release. And if you did that and repeated that 3 or 4 times, it would probably be about half a minute. You just look at how you feel from before doing that to after. And we found it wonderful with children, particularly like a timeout for them, because sometimes if they're running riot or they're climbing the walls and they just need to reset or they're really anxious, this is so powerful for kids and adults as well. You will find after when you've done that, you feel lighter and you just feel like you maybe had just a little sleep. It's amazing what it does for the brain. There we go. So I just wanted to share this compass. I don't know if I can zoom in actually. We have an emotion wheel that can sometimes help us guide us to how we're feeling and what oil to use. And very similar to what we talked about with the floral oils and the woody oils for grounding. So for example, if we are feeling let's say we're bitter about something that's happened in the past, then it asks us to start using thyme and then move on to the forgive oil, which is a blend that doTERRA used to help release things from the past. And let's look at anger, one of my favorites. If we're feeling constantly angry a lot or maybe irritated, then we want to be using the Zendocrine oil, and then follow that with forgive. So maybe Zendocrine for a week or 2 and then move on to forgive. And we will definitely notice the difference after using the Reese oil. The lady who had some awful trauma in the past, and she'd used the forgive oil for about 3 weeks. And after the 3 weeks was over, she said, Rachel, that thing, the horrible thing that had happened in the past that she couldn't even think about, it popped up in her head. She just acknowledged it and it passed by, and um, it was if as if it wasn't painful anymore. It was just a memory, a long distance memory. So, if anyone's looking at things like that from the past that they want to maybe have an emotional detox, then I would definitely say start with forgive oil, do the inhalation, 3 times a day at least, diffuse it, and do it for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. Often you'll find the scent starts to change as you are processing the emotion as well. It's quite interesting how different times of the day or the week we can smell something, and sometimes we love it, and then sometimes it's like, oh no, I'm not bothered about that. It's really interesting just to be in tune to how we feel. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to finish there, and I'll open it up to questions, but I'll just stop the recording.